Hi everyone, Jody Mueller here of Parental Alienation Awareness, Iowa. My other Facebook group is Parental Alienation Warriors Unite. I wanted to come on here today because I keep hearing about the Russian collusion and the North Korea threats. And I'm honestly sick of hearing about it because I'm a alienated mother of 4 children. They're severely alienated from me thanks to what their father has done, and fear me without cause, despise me without reason, and there's nothing left. There's nothing left without my children. So this fear-mongering doesn't work on me. It doesn't work on many alienated moms or dads. Most of us are ready to go. I know I am. I'm ready to go. Whenever I lay my head down to sleep at night, I pray to God that He takes me in the middle of the night and that I don't wake up. I don't want to wake up without my children in my life anymore. I don't want to wake up knowing my children are being psychologically abused daily and that they're going to do this to their own children. And the people that are pushing this 50-50 as a band-aid, that doesn't work. When they tell you, oh, once we do 50-50 and get these laws passed, you'll see your kids. Well, no. My kids are already aged out. I'm not going to see them. And it's not going to help those of us, those other parents that are going through this. I even pose the question in my group. I pose it all the time. Do you think it would help? Go look. Go look in there, in that thread, and see how many think it's going to help. It's not. And without judicial accountability, the 50-50 won't work either. These judges are erasing parents daily. They don't give a damn. They only care about greed and the Title 4D or the Title 4E incentives. That's it. If you don't think you're affected, you might want to look up Federal Social Security Act 458 and see how you are affected, because you are. Every person working is affected by this in one way or another. Every parent is affected, every child's affected, the whole communities are affected. The school shooters that do this, they were affected. Family court or juvenile court. So who really pulled the trigger? I started a hashtag, who pulled the trigger? I'll tell you who pulled the trigger. Legislators pulled the trigger by their silence. Their silence is deafening, and they're complicit in child abuse. This is child abuse, to make our children choose which parent to love, to have them go into the chambers and say which parent they want to live with. That's child abuse. That's adultification, and that's child abuse. Children that are going through alienation for sure are not going to choose ever the targeted parent. So the targeted parent will always lose. So even if 50-50, these other parents will take these children in, and these judges that have no education in pathogenic parenting or ABPA, if they're not ABPA certified, will go in there with our children and question them where they want to live. Who do you think they want to live with? The parent they've been taken from, abducted from, withheld from, or the parent that's sitting outside lurking, that's sitting outside waiting for them to come out to reward their behavior? Which one would you choose if you were 12, 13, 14, 15? Which one? Would you choose the one buying you off? The one giving you Xboxes and cars and kudos for saying bad things about a mom or the dad? If you were a kid in this day and age, in this entitlement age, what child is going to choose the targeted parent that's not buying them off? None of them. None of them will choose the other one. And our children don't even trust the judges anyway. They've already been screwed over. They've already been withheld from custody. So why would they even have any trust in these judges? These judges don't even know how to question children. They don't even have a psychology degree. And even if they did, they weren't educated in this anyway. That was years ago when they took psychology, if they did at all. Years ago. My judge in Texas said he was a CPA student. And that's what he majored in, was accounting. So if he took my children in the chambers, is he doing their math homework? Or is he asking them which parent is the better parent? And either way, it's child abuse. Even if I had my children, I wouldn't want them to have to choose which parent to love. And I'm a targeted parent. I would never ask them to do that. They should be seeing both parents, except the alienator. They shouldn't be seeing an alienator. They need to be sequestered like Dr. Craig Childress and other alienation experts like Linda Gottlieb state. They need to be sequestered from these people. So legislators that are ignoring this and they're silent, your silence is deafening. I figured that out at my Parental Alienation Awareness Day in Iowa on April 11th, when only three of you came down. 3 legislators came down. And the only one that walked around really to look at things was the Secretary of State. The Secretary of State. That's it. And he holds the oath of office for these judges. I asked him what is the first thing on their oath of office on a judge? What's the first thing? He said their obligation to the state. Come on, people. If you're not affected, doesn't this concern you? This doesn't concern you? Their first obligations to the state and the bar attorney's first obligations to the court. So if you have to go through what we're going through, you'll see. You'll see how it is. And you'll walk away with no children, is what's going to happen. So if you think this isn't affecting you, it could very well be. It is. Financially, it's affecting you. It's affecting communities. The people that are paying child support in excess amount, and I'm not against child support. When it's needed, it's needed. In my case, it was needed because my ex was an absent father, and he should have been paying. But if you're paying outrageous amounts, these people are not out spending the money somewhere. They're not in your retail stores, right? They're not in your restaurants. They're not doing any of that. If you're affected by family court in litigation, I've spent over $120,000. I'm not in your retail stores or grocery stores. I'm not in your restaurants spending money. I'm not spending money on my children at Dairy Queen. I'm not spending money at them for them at the mall. I'm doing none of that like I did before. None of that. My whole entire checks used to go toward my children. Now it's in one person's hand, a lawyer. And the judges are getting pieces of that. So, how's this right? So the legislators that are silent are complicit not only in the child abuse, they're complicit in our financial demise. And this emotional holocaust of not seeing our children. As far as the children go, you just took one parent from them. One parent from them. And it's not just one. One parent equals grandparents, siblings, maybe step-siblings, aunts and uncles. You took a whole entire family from these children. Children that were loved and now can't receive love from that whole side of the family is gone forever. You also are complicit in soul murder. And you're complicit really in murder. You really are. The judges, lawyers, and legislators. You're complicit in murder. The life expectancy of our children and us as parents is 20 years less now because of the trauma that you have imposed on us. The trauma that we're going through by not having a relationship. The parent-child bond is gone. And you are complicit in it. So, North Korea and Russia, those things don't matter. Like I said, I'm ready to go anytime. I'm ready to go because there's no life. No life left. And for those of you that were complicit in this soul murder, murder of our children, the destruction of our families, our financial outlook, if you will, you were complicit in that as well. A lot of people are homeless because of what you've done. A lot of people are jobless because of what you've done. Some of us can't work because of the trauma. And we're triggered anytime we see children and families together. Or we're triggered when someone asks us, how old are our children? Or we're triggered anytime someone says, your kids will be back at 18. No, they won't. They're not coming back at age 18. It's not a magic number. Just like it's not a magic number when they're 14 to get to choose which parent to love. How is that a magic number when their brains aren't even developed till they're 26? Are you people insane? Are you insane to make a child choose? That's adultification. Look it up. That's adultification. And that's child abuse as well. It's coercive control. Coercive control is abuse. In any state, you can look up that state's Department of Public Health and ask them, is coercive control child abuse? And they will say yes. So when a judge takes some child in there and forces them to tell them which one he or she loves or wants to live with, that's coercive control. It's child abuse. And adultification. They can't make these types of decisions. So, once again, North Korea, Russia, we don't care. We don't care. And the ones that are complicit in this child abuse, whether it's the alienator, the silence of the legislators, the actions of the judges and the bar attorneys for greed, I'm pretty sure you're all going to hell. Pretty confident you're all going to hell for what you've done to families. So, I'm ready to go. The question is, are you ready? Are you going to be able to answer to God about how you lived your life and what you did to families? Are you really ready to go? Are you ready to answer those big questions when you get to where you think you're going to go? You probably won't need to, because you probably won't be going where most of us are going. It's pretty sad. You might want to rethink what you do day to day and the destruction of family. Is it really worth the greed of these incentives? Is it really worth it? Is it really worth destructing families for this? I know I'm not going away. You took the wrong mother's children from her. I'm not going anywhere. And I will expose all these crimes of legislators, judges, attorneys, guardian ad litems, the lack of education that they have. And they should not be in there. They're just another attorney, just another monopoly to run families. So I hope you ask your question that tonight. Are you ready to go if North Korea comes in here or Russia? Are you ready? You ready to answer? I'd hate to be you. I would hate to be any one of you.